Good morning and a very warm welcome to Filbert Flies. Today we're flying Bimbles around Britain, leg 10, which is going to take us from here in Plockton along the north coast of Scotland to Wick. So there'll be a little bit more valley flying, a few more mountains to have a look at, and generally some nice scenery all the way. And then it's quite a momentous leg really, because we're going to be heading south again by the end of this trip. So this is the turning point from where we head up to Scotland to where we start heading back south towards London. Welcome Sukhoi, welcome little Jenny, and Lawrence, hello, nice to see you. And Mason, Jason and Derek and everyone else who is in the YouTube chat. So as you can see, quite a good turnout. So we will get on board and make a start, I think. So after we take off, we're taking off from runway 2, and just to warn those of you who are flying with me, there's quite a steep climb. We're going up over the top of that mountain ahead of us, so yeah, consider yourself warned, and let's go. Yes, a sunrise takeoff, which I always quite like. I think we did the last few legs at sunset, other than the last one, but makes a nice change. Are some of you flying in live time?
No, it was super off-peak, so I'm on
right.
Fly. As you say, nice sunrise.
Yeah, good. So I was saying to everyone before I started the stream, there's not going to be a break today, so there'll be a little bit of leg crossing in the cockpit, I'm sure. About a 2.5 hour flight, I think, something like that. Get a bit of light in this cockpit. Little Jenny, any quarries to fly over? I'm afraid not. This is, and I'm sorry to you as well, Tolstoy, because I know you like a good quarry, but there are none in this leg. But we are going to be flying past the highest waterfall in Britain, which will be nice. I mean, it looks rubbish because this is Microsoft Flight Simulator, but still, you'll be able to tell your grandkids that you pretended to fly past it, which is good enough. Yeah, and a lot of superlatives. So we're going to be flying to Cape Wrath, which is the most northwesterly point of the British mainland, and then we're going to be flying over the northernmost point and the northeasternmost point as well. So lots to see, and lots of pretty scenery on the way. Master caution, we are on the Southeast Asia server. Yes, Mason, Jason, we are in Scotland. Plockton to be specific. Hello Caffel, welcome to the stream. And I've just done 2 night shifts and had very little sleep, so I apologise if I end up repeating myself and talking gibberish by the end. It's quite likely. So this mountain we're approaching now is Benban, which means White Mountain. Quite a lot of mountains in Scotland with the same name. And it's 2,939 feet tall, or 896 metres. So yeah, 3,000 feet or higher would be a sensible altitude to aim for. Jason, good afternoon. I thought you couldn't join us today. Are you in the chat or are you just watching? I think you're just watching. Possibly skiving at work. Can we go to Bryce Norton? We might be able to fly over it on the way back, actually. Yeah, that's possible. So, Mason, Jason, I don't know if you've been following this series, but we're doing a VFR tour of the whole of the UK. So we started in London, flew down to Brighton, and then made our way west along the south coast, before heading up to Bristol, over Wales, and up the west coast of Scotland, roughly. So yeah, this is our last bit up the west coast, and from the next flight we'll be heading back down south. And this is honestly one of the nicest views we've had all trip, I think, from over this mountain.
Yeah, it's fab. It's a little bit bumpy though.
It is! Yeah, it's bumpier than when I last flew it, and I don't know why, because the weather was exactly the same. But anyway. So we're going to do a mixture. Well, I mean, it's up to you. You can fly at whatever altitude you want. But my plan is to do a mixture of some slightly higher flying today to get a more a wider view of the landscape, and a little bit more valley flying as well. So for these first two peaks, I think we'll stay at around about 3,500 feet, something like that. And then we can descend a little bit later on. Oh, Jace, I'm sorry to hear you're off sick, and about the bad news. Glad you're having some days to recover. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, of course. Yeah, let me know what's happened. Will we see Inverness? Yes, we will. Not today, but on the next flight, which will be in 2 weeks' time, if I remember rightly. I try and do these fortnightly, but sometimes I have to work on a Saturday, so it's not always possible. Glorious sunrise over the right wing there. Yeah, I quite agree, Jenny. The scenery does go a long way to making up for some of the slightly poor flight dynamics. This is an ongoing debate on the AvSim forums about whether this is a proper simulator and how can it be when we have incomplete airliner simulations that do things wrong. And I just think that feeling like you're flying in the real world is probably just as important as being able to, I don't know, simulate an engine failure or what have you.
So guys, I'm started. This time I haven't inserted the kilos of the pilot, so now it's working.
Oh, brilliant! Good. Sorry, what is it that you had to remove?
My kilograms in the passenger rides.
Oh, right. Okay.
What does everyone think about the the latest working title CJ4 mod compared to the A320 NX?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. I think they've gone above and beyond what Fly-by-Wire have done so far, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of developers would sort of look in that direction.
Yeah. Well, I think Fly-by-Wire are. I think they're sharing... I can't remember exactly what. It's something to do with the autopilot or the way it handles nav data or something. Some bit of custom coding they've done to make it better. I think will appear in the A32NX eventually, which is good. Oh, Mason, you fly for the RAF, do you? From Wick, or you just visited Wick? That's cool. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Jenny. There's a lot of bickering on Avcen. So this next peak that we are approaching is Ben Egg, and I'm just going to go ahead and pronounce these things with confidence, even though if I have no idea how to say them, which is a complex mountain massif forming a long ridge with many spurs and summits, as you can see. And unlike most of the other hills in the area, it has a cap of Cambrian basal quartzite, which gives its peaks an unusual pale colour, which you can also see. Is good. It has a national nature reserve on its northern side, which makes it accessible for all visitors. I don't know quite how a nature reserve makes it accessible for all visitors, but there you are. That's what I read. It's got the Ben Egg and Loch Marie Islands NNR, which forms part of the UNESCO Westeros Biosphere Reserve, which is categorised as a site of special scientific interest. And it's also part of a special area of conservation due to its Caledonian pine with rich mosaic of upland habitats and its otter population. Otters are going to be a recurring theme through this trip. Yes, Lawrence, yep, Fly-by-Wire are indeed working on their own autopilot system, which is why I don't think it can be the autopilot that they are borrowing from, what are they called? The CJ4 people, working title. But they are looking at using something they've done. Sorry, I can't remember exactly what. Hello, Centurion, welcome to the stream.
One question, Phil, but
Yes.
have I seen it correctly that you flew an A321? Is it right? Is it possible with the mod?
There is an A321 mod. I don't have it. It wasn't. I haven't flown it, but I know it exists. Okay. But it doesn't particularly appeal to me because, from what little I know of it, it is just a. Well, it uses everything from the default A320 or from the A32NX, so I don't think they've altered the flight model or anything. I think it just looks longer from outside, pretty much.
Okay. So we don't need it. Okay.
Something about the A321, if you want to know a little bit more about it, is that when it was released, it worked with the A32NX mod, so it used the A32NX cockpit. Now, after some of the updates, the A321 no longer works with the A32NX cockpit, so you can't use both at the same time. But there are some people who managed to get it working. Not like they know how to do it, but it's just a bit of a hit and miss. So, for example, Dwaria got it working, but pretty much no one else can. I don't know why.
Okay, just a bit of trial and error. Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to suggest we descend here towards this loch ahead of us and do a little bit of valley flying. But it's up to you. So it's basically a case of trial and error, and you've got to know a little bit about what you're doing to make it work. Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit of that, but it also seems to be some people have it, some people don't, that sort of thing.
Right, even if they've done the same things.
Exactly.
Right, okay. That's this sim all over, really, isn't it? One person can have success, another person can follow the exact steps, and different outcome.
Exactly.
Sorry, go on.
It's a bit like the live weather in the sim as well. It's a bit temperamental.
Yeah.
I thought Rex was a bit better, but I've even been told that Rex is one of those, when it's working it's good, when it's not, it's not.
Yeah, well, I've been using Unreal Weather, which is a free mod, which, as far as I can tell, does pretty much what Rex does. I don't know if it does it as well, but it imports local metadata and then depicts it. And I use that as a backup. I don't like it as much as live weather because you just get uniform coverage as far as the eye can see. But it's useful for when you start a flight and find live weather just isn't showing you anything.
Okay, because I was looking for something different to live weather, but I didn't want to go and buy Rex because Rex's transitions look really harsh and really just in your face, whereas the live weather transitions a lot more realistic.
Yeah.
So I might just real.
Yeah, I mean, Unreal Weather, I think, I've not used Rex, but I think it works in exactly the same way, so you'll still get harsh transitions when you get transitions at all. But it's free, so it's worth a go, I'd say.
Where can I find it? Is it on flightsim.to?
I think it is. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you Google Unreal Weather, it should you should find it, I think. So this is Loch Marie, which we're only seeing the southeastern tip of, but it's a huge loch and it contains 5 large wooded islands and over 60 smaller ones. You can see some of them behind us. And the largest island contains a loch that itself contains another island, which I found quite interesting. And that doesn't occur anywhere else in Great Britain. I'd like a few more gasps of awe and wonder.
Wow. I was saying it, but I forgot to press the button.
Right. Fair enough.
I must have been so much awe that I forgot.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Well,
Actually, it's quite impressive. I say my partner's Scottish and our friends are Scottish, so I keep sending them photographs of these trips.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
They've never seen up there before.
The sun, so I can't see it.
Oh.
Does anybody get any scenery glitches?
Say
yeah,
that.
I'm getting those horrible spikes still.
Spikes and
I downloaded a mod which gets rid of those, which I will try and remember to post after we land.
I think Asobo wrote that they will patch it with the next update, which will release in about 2 weeks, I think.
Yes, I've heard the same. I'll just catch up with the YouTube chat quickly. Lackwed, can you fly with us? Yes, everything you need to know is in the video description. Centurion, this is your home region, is it? Lucky you. It's stunning. Hello, come fly with me. Welcome. Good, and that's it, I've caught up. I'm flying incredibly badly today. Don't fly when you're fatigued. It's my advice. Right, I've got the facts are coming thick and fast. So this is Loch Fanich that we are over, this small loch here. It was dammed and had its water level raised as part of the construction of the Conan hydroelectric power scheme. And during this, the rising water levels totally subsumed a large property called Cabui Lodge in the 50s, which was formerly home to a local MP. So a little bit of an oopsie from the construction company there.
So it was not planned to submerge this property?
No,
Oh.
apparently not. So we'll make a right turn here. Centurion, I think we are flying over Loch Broom very shortly, but I don't think that was it. Also, I can't remember with any certainty. So many lochs, you just lose track.
I think you're a bit ahead of yourself as well.
Am I?
Loch Fannick is the next one.
Yes, I was just asking. Centurion was asking. He thought it looked a little bit like Loch Broom, and I couldn't remember. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, the last one was Loch Fada.
Yeah,
Loch
you're
Fada.
right. You're right. Thank you. I think I just saw the F in little nav map and launched into it. I don't think the story was quite good enough to tell again once we get there. Good morning, Finbar. Welcome to the stream. And hello, LJ Vlogs. Nice to see you both.
So radio check, Delta Echo Mike Oscar Whiskey.
Yeah, loud and clear. 5x5.
Okay, great. It looks amazing. Yeah, I see blinking aircrafts in front of me, the clouds and the beautiful mountains here. It's a great tour here. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think it was last time I was saying that we're really being spoilt with spectacular scenery throughout the Scottish Highlands, and I'm a little bit worried that it's going to be a bit of a come down when we're back over sort of the flat land of East Anglia and that sort of way. But I'll try and make up for it with fascinating facts.
What we could do as well is try and download some scenery for some of the cities that we'll pass later on.
Yes, yeah, definitely. There's a pretty good looking Edinburgh scenery, and yeah, when I'm planning each leg, I do have a good look and see if there is any photogrammetry or other scenery to spice things up a little.
One thing I really like that Sobo seem to have got right is some of the industrial areas in the UK.
Yes, I know what you mean.
It really gives it that British feel, do you know what I mean? It really feels like you are flying over the UK.
It does.
I will definitely join when you're flying to Edinburgh. I worked in Greenock, so when we make a ground over there, absolutely great.
Oh, great! Yeah. I'm trying to think ahead to when that'll be. It won't be the next one because it's too far away. It's either going to be the one after next or the one after that when we hit Edinburgh, I think. Did I hear the sonic boom over Stansted? No, I didn't, despite people who live quite a lot further from Stansted than I do having heard it. I totally, wasn't aware of it at all. Oh, I've done it again. I've taken the wrong valley. It's alright, it's not too late. Probably. No, it isn't too late.
Are you heading towards River Lale?
River Lale. I'm not sure. It's not one of my waypoints, I don't think. Or is it? Oh yes, yeah, it is.
It must be because it flashed up on my screen. You see, and I'm trying to follow your actual route.
Okay, so we are at the moment headed towards Skirmore southwest, and Skirmore is this mountain on our right here. So I think you've got a little bit ahead of us.
Yeah, I'm trying my best not to.
What are you flying us at 152?
Sorry, I keep forgetting to press. I'm in the Cirrus SR22, but I'm only doing about 9,900.
Oh, okay.
Just seems to have shot off in front of everybody. I'm trying to slow down. Then everybody seems to go in a different direction. I try and catch up, and then you say, "Oh, I've gone down the wrong man." I think, well, I haven't. So I'm very confused on my maiden flight.
Yeah. Well, can you see our name tags? Have you got your name tags turned on?
Yes, as far as I know. I don't know. I can't see it, can I?
You can't see us?
What, my own name tag?
No, the rest of us.
Sorry, yes, of course I can.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can always circle back and tag along behind if you want, or we can try and speed up a little.
That'll be off the route itself, and then you'll say, "Oh, we should be down the other side." I'm actually on the route, on
Okay.
the Inverlale, which
Right.
is 1.7 mile away.
Okay. Well, hang out round there, do a few circuits, and we'll be coming your way shortly.
Okay, I'll wait for you.
Yeah.
Complicated.
Yes. It takes a bit of getting used to. I often end up miles ahead on group flights without really noticing. And
Are we going down Loch Broom?
yes.
It seems to suggest that, doesn't it?
Yes, we are. Inverlale near Ullapool, absolutely, and we'll be visiting Ullapool as well, Centurion. Madness above the Highlands, it is indeed. So this next waypoint, which is Corrie-Shalloch Gorge, is, I'm reliably informed by Wikipedia, one of the most spectacular gorges in all of Scotland, and it demonstrates how erosion resulting from the rapid melting of glaciers led to the formation of deep gorges, formed at the end of the Quaternary Ice Age around 10 to 13,000 years ago. So a little bit of geology and a little bit of, yeah, mostly geology for you. Geology and the opinion of someone on Wikipedia.
And pseudo-French pronunciation.
Pseudo-French?
No, it sounded like it.
Corrie-Shalloch? I don't know. We're going to climb again here, so admire the gorge from a little bit of height, and we're going to head in between these two peaks ahead, I think. Bart Yankar, hello. Nice to see you in the stream. I try to make it as much like a lecture as I possibly can, Bart Yan, yeah. So I want people to have too much fun on these flights, you know, it's an educational experience. So this next mountain, and again forgive my pronunciation, but I think it's Ben Daig, is home to an important population of montane birds such as dotterel and golden eagle.
I think the pronunciation is Ben Jerrig.
Really? I would never have
Yep.
guessed that in a million years. Ben Jerrig, thank you. Absolutely, Jenny. It's an experience unique to this channel, as far as I'm aware. Have I requested basic service? Absolutely not. No, we don't go in for any of that rubbish on the Bimbles, because they might stop us landing on top of mountains and things like that, or try and dissuade us anyway.
Can you explain why I hear some of the people speaking to you and others I don't?
Ah, the people you don't hear are chatting on the YouTube live chat. They're not actually in the chat room.
Ah, okay. Cheers for that.
That's all right. It's always a bit of a balancing act trying to keep up with what they're saying as well as chatting to you.
Can you just give us a heads up what that means, flying on the YouTube link?
So I'm live streaming the flight, and the people who aren't flying with us but are watching on YouTube can type their chat messages, and they pop up on my screen as text.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is. What I'll try and do is I'll give you the gist of what they're asking, and then it'll be easier to. My replies will make some sort of sense at least.
I've noticed you've been trying to do that, and it does kind of make a bit of sense rather than just the reply.
Yeah.
Are they regarded sort of like an observer who's watching what's happening?
Sorry, say that again.
When I first started with, the VA, virtual airlines, years ago, I used to observe and watch them flying around, listen to the ATCs and things, because you get a bit frightened by it, just thinking they might be observing and watching the flights.
Yeah, I think some people do use my channel a bit like that. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. But certainly on my airliner streams, I get some people who don't sim at all, and just find them quite relaxing to watch while they get on with other things, which I didn't expect at all. But I found that quite interesting.
I put some of yours on the A320s onto I stream it to the television, like a screensaver, and it's just kind of moving flat in the corner of the room.
That's really nice.
I'm saying stream is about 55-inch television, so it takes up quite a bit.
Right, yeah. When I did one long haul flight from Heathrow over to Chicago O'Hare, and so one of my viewers sent me a photo in the Discord server of him doing his ironing while he watched on his telly. And it's quite
no need for that, is there?
Well, I quite liked it. I quite like the idea of being on in the background in someone's living room while they get on with other stuff.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So this is Loch Broom. Someone was asking about Loch Broom in the YouTube chat earlier on. This is it here. And because I have so many fascinating facts about other places, some of the lochs have had to fall by the wayside, and this is one of them, I'm afraid. But our next waypoint is going to be Ullapool, or is it Ullapool? Can someone clarify that?
It's Ullapool.
Ullapool, thank you. Next waypoint is Ullapool Tesco's. And I do have nothing about the Tesco specifically, but a little bit to tell you about Ullapool.
There's an actual Tesco around here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, when you're flying over wilderness with the odd little hamlet here and there, to suddenly come across a Tesco. I think that's why I picked it as a waypoint. So Ullapool's a village of 1,500 inhabitants, and it's the largest settlement for miles around, and an important port and tourist destination. You can get a car ferry from here and to Stornoway on the Isle of Lewis. And it's also home to some characters who I'd never heard of from fiction, including Ron Sinclair, a mutant werewolf from the X-Men comics, and Demo Man, who is a character in the game Team Fortress 2. hosts a book festival, a lot of local music festivals, and the annual Loopaloo Festival, which has attracted quite big names like Franz Ferdinand, Mumford & Sons, and the Pigeon Detectives. So that's Ullapool, just on my nose as we speak. Little Jenny says she usually has my airline streams on while she's doing her own flights, which, yeah, I think quite a few people do that as well. Breaks up the monotony of a long cruise.
Mentioning Chicago O'Hare brings back a lot of memories.
Yeah, go on.
That's where we all began, didn't it, with Flight Simulator 2, whatever it was called.
Yeah, it's true. Meigs Field and short
That's
hops
the one.
from there to O'Hare. I remember it well.
Yeah, that's where we learned, isn't it, about the OBRs and things and all sorts of things
Yeah.
in them days.
Yeah.
They've just made a new one, haven't they?
A new O'Hare?
No, new Meigs. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, for the sim you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's done a freeware of it. I haven't actually had a look, but yeah. So there's the Ullapool port that I was talking about. And the Tesco's, I'm going to say it's this building here. It's got a big car park and it's fairly sizable. Whoever it was who recommended last time that I turn off follow plane on little nav map to stop it zooming in and out at random, that was a very good suggestion. I've done that and it's much clearer where we are. Wow, there's loads of us here now. Some in the chat, some not. I'm impressed by the turnout.
When are we doing such a trip in real time? Everybody picks his Cessna and then let's go.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? So this is Isle Martin, this little island that we're approaching now, which is one of the summer isles. It's uninhabited, but it has in the past been the site of a monastery, a herring curing station, and a flour mill. It's now recognised as a bird sanctuary and run by a community trust. And we're going to make a right turn and head up this valley here. Sort of valley. It's quite a wide valley, but you know what I mean. Fly along the bit that isn't a mountain.
I'm just turning around to join the peloton.
Okay, right.
A bit lonely
Oh,
up
yes,
front.
I see you. Yeah, it is. It can be.
You're talking of Tesco's, now I'm looking at mountains.
You didn't miss much. I wouldn't worry.
That's right, I've been there in the flesh.
Have you? To Ullapool one?
that's it. My partner's from Greenock and all the friends, etc., they're down here now. They're up from Glasgow, etc., and other places. Greenock and
Yeah.
Greenock? They have different places. Gurrock, that's the one, Gurrock, yeah. So I think she's from Gurrock, near Greenock, which is just down the road from the Clyde.
Right.
Since I spoke to you the other day, she's a nurse, I remember telling you.
Yeah.
Just come down with COVID.
Oh no. She
And
got
she's
it
in bed
badly.
as we speak. I don't know yet. It's the first about 2 days. They got down to just her and the manager boss, who's also a nurse, trying to do the shifts between them, literally. And it's just jiggered them both up, and they both come down at the exact same time.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, so they got the job up the nose came positive, and they sent it away for the full one, and that came back positive. So that's it now.
Right.
She's isolated in the bedroom.
Yeah. Oh well, I hope she feels better soon. It's,
Yeah, thank God for
she
flight
probably
sim.
will. Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's a good distraction, isn't it?
Thing is, though, she has a mobile phone, and mine keeps flashing in a cup of tea, or drink of cold water, or Lucozade, or can have a poached egg. So,
And quite right too. It's the least she deserves.
damn right she does, yeah. We forget, don't we, that people are still working away in the background.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, I'm still going to work, and I mean, not doing anything quite as stressful as your wife, but I work for the railway, so I manage incidents, which means I have to keep going in.
Yeah, he was. I think he was explaining that to someone the other day. It's quite interesting.
Mm.
I was eavesdropping without knowing.
All right.
I've now got tinkling red lights.
Tinkling red light. Oh, what, us, you mean?
Yeah, all the port on the wings. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm coming to blast through you now.
Right. Oh, I always thought the L key just turned off the dome light, but apparently it turns all your lights off. You learn something every day.
Gosh, that sun's bright, isn't it, when you're head on?
It is, yeah.
Do you think there'll be a way where we can see the traffic actually on the primary display and secondary display?
What, on a map, you mean?
No, we have the moving map in the plane, you see, and I'm sure there's no traffic whatsoever.
Right, yeah, I think I might be wrong, but I think they're wanting to implement proper TCAS at some point.
Yeah,
Or
exactly,
that might just be the A32NX, so that'll be something. But yeah, I don't know if it'll ever be possible to see all the aircraft around you. I don't know.
I think you can see generics on that. Is that right?
You can on the little nav map. You can certainly see generics.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
switch it on today because I was a bit worried about the frames per second. I mean, I'm probably being silly and over worrying. I'm healthy at the moment, so I'm doing okay. But because I was going to put the Discord on as well, etc., and you think I don't want to suddenly stop in the middle anywhere.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
When we get up part way through, 2/3, I'll switch it on just to see if it doesn't crash it or not. So if I vanish, that's what's reason.
Yeah, okay. You can always catch up with us if need be. I've got it running, and Discord and Restream chat and all the rest of it. I don't think it's too resource intensive.
No, I don't think so. Just me being frightened. What sort of speeds are people flying at? Then I know not to catch up too much.
I'm doing about
110.
110 knots.
Right. Okay, I'm slowing down there. Thanks for that.
That mountain to the left is kind of on its own.
Yeah.
It's called Stack Polly.
Okay.
And there's a very nice restaurant in Edinburgh with the same name.
Oh, interesting.
And I've climbed that hill in the snow.
Have you?
Yep.
Oh yes, it was you who was saying a couple of episodes ago that you do quite a bit of hill walking out of Glasgow, isn't it? You're based.
I work in Glasgow. I live near Edinburgh.
Oh, okay.
You're very lofty in Edinburgh. So I'm told. I wouldn't know.
I did a whiskey tasting in Edinburgh once a time, and don't ask how the day closed then.
Did you get to the end?
It's always a dangerous thing to do, whiskey tasting.
Yeah.
I may did a whiskey tasting in Edinburgh once a time, and don't ask how the day closed then.
Yeah.
It's always a dangerous thing to do whiskey tasting.
Yeah. So the mountain we're flying around, I should probably say, is called Coolmore or Culmore. I don't have anything beyond that, but I thought you might like to know.
Yeah, in Gaelic, more means big, so...
Ah, interesting. And Cull or Cull? Hill? No.
Possibly. That's as far as my knowledge goes.
Right.
I tried to learn Gaelic at one point, but it's quite hard.
Yeah, I can imagine purely from the pronunciation and how it's written.
I get my pronunciation from Urwully and the Bruins.
I thought Gaelic was Irish. I thought it was an Irish language.
There's both Irish and Scottish.
Oh, alright.
They all come from the same place, technically, don't they?
Yeah, they're very similar.
Say Gaelic and then Gaelic, and then all sorts of different ways of pronouncing the same word.
Celtics, they originate from Ireland, right?
Yes, yeah.
And the football team.
What are we buying to our birthday? It's not so long away. New VR headset. Such a flight must be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it must be.
I have actually ordered a camera to fit on. I'm going to try one of those simple ones with the head tracking app, just for fun.
That's a good idea. If it's anything like Track R, it will make a big difference, I think.
I used to have head track years ago, and I managed to drop it as I was stepping off the chair, off my head, and stood on it, and that was the end of that.
Oh, do you know, I did the same with a headset a couple of weeks back. But fortunately it was a very, very cheap headset and I just got another one.
Has anybody tried the VR in Microsoft Flight Simulator yet?
Yeah, I'm using it at the moment. I just think it's fantastic for the immersion. But to the extent that I just don't like playing on a flat screen anymore.
I suppose that's the downside from 3D to 2D, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, must be.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but I imagine so.
Can I ask what the drop in your resources was, in frames per second?
I don't know actually. I don't have frames per second displayed, but I'm using an Oculus Quest 2, and I'm not noticing much in terms of frame rate drop. It's not as the clarity is obviously isn't the same high definition that you get from your monitor, but that's compensated for me by just how immersive the experience is. But you literally are sitting in the cockpit with the display in front of you, and you can just look absolutely anywhere and see what's going on. And when you're flying through scenery like this, it's just amazing.
I can well imagine it.
You can actually get motion sickness as well at times.
Yeah, I've heard that's an issue with some people.
Get used to it. When I first started using it just after Christmas, I could probably do about half an hour stints, but because I've been using it continually since then and gradually built it up, then I can now do 2 or 3 hours without it creating any dizziness or headaches, which I know a number of people are reporting.
Yeah, good. And do you use it for all your flying? Do you use it for airliner flying as well?
At the moment, to be honest with you, I'm only doing the VFR flying because I just think the scenery is so fantastic what we've got now.
Yeah.
It's just the VFR stuff and the bush flying which I'm really enjoying. Interesting when I was using because I come back into flight simulation after FSX, which was probably about 10-15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I used to just fly airlines then. But at the moment I've hardly touched the airlines so far because I'm just enjoying the VFR stuff and the aircraft so much.
I can see why. Yes, I mean, I used to solely do airline flying in previous sims. This is the first one where I bothered with VFR at all, to be honest with you.
I will go back to the airline flying actually. I'm waiting for I know there's updates, isn't there, in airline as you can download. But so I'm just finding I've got so much to keep me busy at the moment with the GA stuff and the VFR and that. So yeah, I will go back to it then.
No, honestly, I feel like once this game is ready and complete, once we have GSX proper study level stuff like PMDG and everything, I think this game will be immense when it comes to the airlines.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited about the Aerosoft CRJ, and that's not an aircraft I've ever had any particular desire to fly. But just to have something new to do short airline hops in would be great.
Things like Amsterdam to Manchester and London City and stuff are really cool.
Yeah.
That's where the Boeing 757, 767 came in, didn't it? The 737 as well for the domestic hops.
Oh, was that? That was their original purpose?
Well, that's what that's what they were using, and then obviously the other airlines came in on the back of it, and then Boeing slowly got pushed away.
No, right.
The Airbus is tremendously popular now, and then obviously Boeing's had a tragedy in the last 2-3 years, haven't they?
Yeah.
The Max has maxed out and gone.
Do you think they'll come back? The Max?
They've modified it. They've got some new ideas. It's whether they get the confidence back. These are big multi-million pound.
It had a flight over the other day. It's
That's right. I did some testing there.
All right.
But there was a 737 non-Max that went down in the Java Sea again recently.
Yeah.
Not good, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not the customer review you want, really, is it?
On a cheerier note, I've got a little story about Loch Asint, which is that large loch we're just leaving now. There's a legend about the mermaid of Asint, which tells of the lost daughter of the MacLeod clan who used to live in Ardvret Castle, which is not depicted in the sim. And she's said to have been promised to the devil, and to hide from him she plunged into the caverns of the loch and became an elusive mermaid. And when the loch's waters rise, the locals say that these are Amir's tears, that was her name, mourning her life lost on land. And some even claim to have seen her weeping on the land.
So shall we keep an eye out for it?
Yeah, I did have a look. I was a little bit late with that story, but yeah, if you're ever in the area again. So we're going to make a right turn over this loch here, which is called Loch Glencool. And we are very, very nearly at the waterfall.
What altitude should we be at for the waterfall?
Well, I'm flying along the valley, so I'm at 1,500 feet, and that's enough for now. That should be about, well, just above it, in fact.
Right on that sun again, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Not for long, though.
It's quite nice. Just I can't see the screens.
Yeah.
I have a couple of spare boxes, and I'm wondering whether to just build one basically to run a VR set and then do like a wide land connection to it. You know Dawson fella who does the FSU RPC, he does a wide connection. It's all in my head. Other people have done it, and that would have its own resource then, wouldn't it? And it would take away, it would leave the flight sim on this computer to itself.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's only a theory. Whether I can do it, I don't know yet.
No, I'm not much of an expert on hardware and networking and things, but yeah, in
think
theory it
the-
sounds good.
Yeah, the key thing is you still need the bandwidth on your internet connection, regardless of how many systems you have up and running.
So the VR's running on bandwidth as well, is it?
Well, it's all running live on the system, so it's utilising bandwidth on the internet. I mean, I've got everything running on here, chatting away, doing flight sim, 2 separate monitors, and I've got about 14 megabytes per second.
Waterfall's on my right now if anyone's trying to spot it, by the way. Carry on.
Yeah, I'm doing about
carry on.
14 megabytes per second, which is pretty lousy, but everything's running smoothly. But I think if I run a separate computer using up bandwidth to put something else on, I think I'd be struggling.
I see your logic. Yeah, good point. I'm not seeing any waterfalls.
It's very thin, so it is easy to miss.
No, you told me.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd point it out when I was right next to it, make it a bit easier to spot. Anyway, it's the highest waterfall in the UK, and when it's in full flow it's over 3 times higher than the Niagara Falls. So there you go.
Right, that's big.
Yeah. Sorry, I've missed a lot of your comments in YouTube. Macho, welcome to the stream. Pablo, glad you're enjoying it. It is a particularly stunning leg. Jason asks when the Aerosoft CRJ is ready. I don't think anyone knows for sure, but quite soon is my impression. And you would like me to ask all of you if you know of any sites where you can get a joystick at the moment.
Oh mate, I'll tell you now. I was going through that a couple months ago. You're not gonna find one on. You're not gonna find a brand new one. Not a good one anyway. Best bet is probably Facebook, eBay, or something like that.
Yeah, and they're going for crazy money on all of those, aren't they? Even second hand.
Would Scan over at Chorley, Bolton Way, not have one?
I think they're all sold out. Because I was looking at replacing mine, and I couldn't find stock anywhere at all.
Yeah, it's just with GPUs, joysticks. A lot of that is out of stock. I did an extensive search a couple months ago because I wanted to upgrade mine, but yeah, there's nothing.
Is that because of this flight sim coming out?
I've wondered that.
Yeah,
I
it could
don't
be
know.
because of that.
I certainly think the joysticks are because of the flight sim, but I think the like the video cards and processors and things are just because they're new, you know. I was quite fortunate. I put in an order on launch day for the 3080 video card, and I got it just before Christmas.
Nice.
The 360 came out with bad reviews, and then everybody stopped buying them, and they've all gone backwards towards the old 1.8s, haven't they? Or way into 1.800, and they've gone up in value second hand.
Yeah, I managed to grab a 1080 as well because the only reason I didn't want to get an RTX is because of ray tracing now. Ray tracing is not even supported in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so why would I pay that much to get an RTX? Just get a 1080, which is far superior than some of the RTXs out right now.
But ray tracing should come up this year.
On Flight Sim?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I'm quite sure. Yeah.
Has the Xbox been well received?
I don't know. I'm very out of the loop on consoles. I really know nothing at all about them.
I've bought it via the Xbox shop, if that's what you call it, and I have to run that first and click on it as if it's a game. But I'm not through Xbox, it just seems to port it to me. It's really weird.
Yes, I think that's how all games from the Microsoft Store have to be run now.
Macy, there is a way of setting it to your desktop so you don't have to open the Xbox app. You just click Microsoft Flight Simulator. Next time you go into the Xbox app, right click on the game and then put add to desktop.
I get you. I started that way, strange. When I first installed it, it was on the start menu. I don't know when we were clicking away in the early days, last August, and it ended up on the Xbox. Yeah, it's really odd. It went from the desktop icon onto the Xbox. I'm getting a little bit of indiscreet chatter in the background. I can't make it out.
It's us echoing, but from like 30 seconds ago, and I don't know why it's happening.
Somebody has a stream open, I think.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah. Maybe someone's watching it on YouTube with the sound on. That would explain it.
Tell them to buy a license.
It's quite bumpy.
Hi guys, yeah, Ollie71. I've just joined group chat, so thanks for the information. I was with I had an order with Amazon since September for the Airbus stick and throttle, and then it was cancelled last week. And I've been travelling through the other sites, and Philbert kindly mentioned about Aerosoft, and yeah, everything's just pre-order, which I'm reluctant to do because obviously you're going to pass in with your money and you don't know when it's going to come through. So yeah, it's been difficult.
And Ollie, did you check Aerosoft?
Yes, that's the one I did. Yes, and I was looking at Philbert's stick as well. Just the one I've got at the moment, I've got the 3D Logitech, and it's just a bit temperamental. So, and I've had it 4 years, and I was playing FSX with it. So I just I'm kind of reaching out for a stick.
Is it not wise just to invest into a yoke and have done with it?
Sorry, say that again?
Would it not be wise to invest longer term into a yoke?
I could do.
It makes a big difference because at the moment I've got one hand on the left, holding it like a joystick. But I found I have a wireless joystick from years ago, but I found my arm was in mid-air, and it was very tiring having to keep moving it left, right, muscular-wise. Whereas a yoke stays where it is until you move it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've just always been used to a stick, so I just guess it's time to make a change.
I think there's a tendency to think that the joystick's going to be a kind of a poor man's version, but I just found it was damn near impossible to fly for more than an hour.
Yeah, I just I'm very connected to the Neo at the moment, and I'm still learning things with it. And because it's what they use, the stick, I just sort of switched to a yoke. I can't get my head around it at the moment. But yeah, I have. I've got. I know a couple of people who have simmers, and they've got yokes, but I've never had a yoke. So yeah, I could trial it definitely.
Well, I have the Trustmaster edition here, Joke, and here the throttle and the add-ons, and well, it's amazing. It's great to use it. I'm very happy with it. Even with the new mod, the spoilers are not working. I have no idea why. Yes, but the rest is working very fine.
Okay, well, thanks for that.
Have you heard of those shops, the cash converters and the CEX, which is CEX?
No.
Yes.
No.
Right, they're online, so you actually type it into your, to your search engine, CEX.
Okay.
So they could actually get them around the country. When I was in our local one, 2-3 weeks ago, they had a cheaper Thrustmaster version. The twin, where you get one's a joystick and one's the throttles and everything, and it was only about £94.
Okay.
It's worth looking for those.
It's not a bad
All right,
call.
I'll have a look. Thank you.
I'm just going to catch up on the YouTube chat a little more. Sorry to interrupt. Sukhoi is building a model Embraer while watching this. Caffel recommends playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is free for now if anyone's interested. Sukhoi says, from Lochs to Tesco's, we really are going through everything Scotland has to offer. Indeed we are. It's even going to be lighthouses later, and I think that really does complete the set of what Scotland's about. Tesco's, Lochs and lighthouses.
I don't think a Scotsman would agree with you quite there, but never mind.
I should be careful what I say. Maurice Fraser wants to know where we are. We are on the west coast of Scotland, between Lochs and Reconich at the moment.
You're telling that some of us are wondering where we are as well.
Am I looking forward to the UK World Update, David? Yes, I am very much. And David's been using a Thrustmaster Warthog HOTAS in DCS World a lot. For anyone who's
That is a lovely piece of kit, isn't it? Stainless steel.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've never tried one, but it does look good.
My friend bought it with the Warthog. It's about £320 just for the Thrustmaster.
Was it really? Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful though. The engineering is just something else.
Yeah.
But Ollie, back to your issue, might it be have something with the Brexit and so on that actually nothing is delivered? Because as I ordered at Areasoft, I got my add-ons within 2 weeks.
Right, yes, I think it is. I think that's the general feedback that it's, Brexit sticking its neck in. I think all the manufacturers are just not, producing them at the moment. It's either one or the other. But it's very odd that it's cancelled. I had it pending. I thought, well, I'll let it sit there until it eventually comes through, and then they cancelled the order. No, as I say, I ordered it just after when the new MSF come out. It's August, wasn't it? So I ordered it at the end of August. So yeah, I think I'll just have to keep. But thanks for your tips, guys. I'll look at the CEX site and eBay, and eventually I'll get one. But my joystick is working at the moment, and I'll look at the yoke as well. Another variation.
Sounded more like COVID's hit all the manufacturers worldwide, doesn't it? The distribution chains, etc.
Yeah.
And the logistics is a little bit difficult because obviously when things are coming into the UK, even parcels within the UK, they've got to quarantine at the depots for about 5 days before they get sent out again.
That's right, to get the germs off them, haven't they? Or suspected germs.
I didn't know they were doing that. Would be quite sensible.
Holding them up for days. When you get your post through your door in the morning, you should leave it for 2 days minimum.
I do.
Yeah, I returned something this week and expected my refund to come back within 3 to 5 days, and then they told me that we've actually got to wait to quarantine the product because I've sent it back.
Right.
That's sneaky, isn't it?
Me.
That is sneaky.
David, yes, we have done the Mac loop. Yeah, we did that. I think that was episode 5. That was the first leg that I did as a group flight. So you can catch up on it. There's a playlist with all of the past episodes if you're interested.
Right, Philbert, I've loaded up my little NatMav and it's working beautifully, and I can see everything all in multicolour.
Oh, brilliant! Good news.
We're on the top.
Yeah. This is really, we're very close to the very, very top of of Great Britain.
You're on the Northwest 500 now. You do know that, don't you?
That hadn't occurred to me, but yeah, I suppose we are.
Yeah, the North Coast 500. Yeah.
They're splitting up into 250s now because they're getting so chocker at the top. There's the West 250 and the East 250.
Oh right.
I did it 2 years ago, and I did it just kind of Easter time before the season really started, so it was nice and quiet. But even so, as you drive around it, there's some really narrow roads, and a lot of it's single track.
The piece that we're on now would be that additional add-on journey, something pass, can't remember what it's called now, Sandy Pass or something, that everybody wants to do, but it's a little bit honest to pass in Lake District. It's so severe. We have a 7.5 metre motorhome, so we wouldn't even try it, wouldn't get up there, but a lot of people want to do that to tick it off. You expect some whales to pop up, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Now that would be a good one. Instead of looking for giraffes, you could look for the whales or the orcas.
Yeah, it does need a bit of marine life, doesn't it?
Or a Loch Ness at least.
There's lots of seals around Scotland, so it'd be nice to see seals on the beach. Thanks.
Yeah, they would, wouldn't they? Yeah.
I think I've got some interesting seal facts coming up, actually, if I remember rightly. But I won't spoil them. Or it might have
You've
been...
already spotted it. We're wondering what they are.
Well, that's part of the excitement. The thrill of the anticipation might even be better than the fact itself.
You're doing a trailer on us, are you?
Or I might have meant to talk about them earlier, but we were deep in conversation, so I decided to miss it out. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if anyone wants to do this, but if you turn your snow level to 7.5, it looks really good.
It is worth a look, actually. I flew it in snow last time, and it's probably quite accurate. I found it a bit monotonous after a while, but yeah, it does look lovely. And I'll do it to show the nice people on YouTube. Yes.
Filbert, I'm sorry to report that I've just had my first crash to desktop in like 6 weeks. So
Oh no.
I'm out of it for the moment.
Okay.
Thank you so far. If I don't catch up with you again today.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I hope you make it back.
No, sorry, Torso. I had the same.
Yeah,
problem
not
the last
frustrating
couple.
for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I don't get it very often, so it's quite rare. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the flight.
Thank you very much.
And you, my friend.
Thank
See
you.
you, Tolstoy. See you soon.
According Sea Life, I think there is someone who is developing an app which includes then fishing boats, sea boats, and all the kind of stuff, and probably whales too. Should come out in several weeks, isn't it?
Nice. I hadn't heard of that, but I'll certainly look for it.
When we do these updates and installs, do we get I haven't noticed it, but do we get a choice on what we want to install? I'm a bit worried my machine's going to get bloated.
With the world updates, you do, yeah. So they come up as additional content to download, and I found this out the hard way by, well, assuming it was all installed and it wasn't, and I was doing a live stream to one of the new airports. But yeah, you have to go into your content manager to install it.
Right, that'd be the Japanese, Japan 1, Japan 2, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And the same with the US.
Yeah, I'm done. Oh, I did the US, and then it was afterwards. I thought, my God, these are megabook stuff that's going in. They're like so many gigabytes that you're putting in.
Yeah. Right, I need to give you a little bit of spiel on Cape Wrath because it would be a travesty if I didn't. So this is the most northwesterly point in mainland Britain. And Cape Wrath consists of 107 square miles of moorland wilderness known as the Path. Much of it's owned by the Ministry of Defence and is used as a military training area. And it's the trailhead of two trails, the Cape Wrath Trail, which runs 200 miles to Fort William, which we saw week before last, and the 460-mile Scottish National Trail from Kirk Yetholm on the Scottish border. And it's also the turning point for the Cape Wrath Marathon, which goes from the ferry dock to the lighthouse and back. I don't think the lighthouse is a lighthouse, but we can have a look. And while we're at it, I'm just going to catch up on the YouTube chat because I'm behind with that again. David says a lot of companies are not posting into the UK at the moment, which is true. I've experienced that, so that could be another factor. This must be what's supposed to be the lighthouse, I think. Sukhoi paused the stream by mistake and has been watching 25 minutes behind. And David says, can you imagine what your CPU would be doing if it started putting in wildlife? Stay away from London with the pigeons. Yes, that's true. It's a fair point.
That's quite good. And that's tourists feeding them.
Yeah, yeah. And hello, Brandon. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. So that's it. That's the West Coast ticked off.
It's beautiful here.
It is. It is. I've got a growing list of parts of the UK and parts of the world in general that I really want to visit in real life once COVID's over. And that's mostly as a result of this sim.
I put 20 centimetres of snow in, and I've just got patches of dusting here and there in the green. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I've left the 7 centimetres on that Flyboy D recommended, and I think that's a good balance. I had too much on the other day. Brandon Bless asked how my day was. Yeah, it's been alright. I was on a night shift last night, so I spent a couple of hours of it sleeping, and then this. I haven't done much with it really. Hope your day's going alright as well.
Philbert, what night shift? What are you doing?
I work for the railway, so I'm an operations manager, but I deal with incidents, so things go wrong with the railway and I go out and try and deal with them.
Okay, then you're a very busy man.
Sometimes I am. Yeah.
Being sarcastic.
What did you study to get into that? Is it railway engineering?
No.
Chaos.
Chaos. No, I used to be a paramedic. I studied paramedic science, and I did that for about 5 years, and then I fancied a change. Needed to do something else, and I did a graduate scheme and got this job a year after that. So that's how I got into it. But yeah, there's people from a variety of backgrounds working on the railway, not just engineers. David says he hopes that the new UK update adds cities, cathedrals and castles, as they're just office blocks at the moment. Yeah, that would be good. I imagine, I don't know for sure, but I imagine they would do that sort of thing. I know they did in other world updates, add new building types and that, so...
Say they're going to add cathedrals and churches. The only thing is we don't know how many.
Oh, okay. You've been
Probably
paying a lot...
might leave some room for Orbix to add some bits in.
That's true. That's very true.
I noticed looking at the Lake District, which I know extremely well, and it's just like office blocks all down the side of the lakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, just look at the scenery to the starboard. Those lochs are beautiful.
They are.
It's amazing.
So what's out to the north? Would that be to the Arctic Circle now?
Yes. So from where we are now, yeah, there's really nothing. There's really nothing to the north of us, other than the Arctic.
You get the Hebrides and the Orkneys, etc., but that's over towards the northeast, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're quite a long way east of our position.
Yeah, there's Torshavn, which is I think are they Norwegian or?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
We need some Norwegian soundtracks.
Yeah. So this large loch we're approaching now is Loch Erebol, and it's 10 miles long, and it's been used as a deep water anchorage for centuries, because the seas around here are particularly unpleasant and stormy, so it's a sort of safe haven. It's frequently used by the Royal Navy, and during World War II it was nicknamed Loch Horrible by the British servicemen because of the awful weather. Maurice, we are on the Southeast Asia server. David says the Faroe Islands are north, right? They are, but they are east of our current position. Sukhoi thinks they might be Danish, like Greenland.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
You might be right, actually. I think you might be right. And hello, DMCJ. Welcome to the stream.
Do you know what would really be cooler?
Yeah.
If it was possible. So do you know how you got live weather? Sometimes the live weather doesn't leave the snow on the ground.
Yes.
It's live weather and then just add about 7.5% snow. That would look really cool. But sometimes I fly over Manchester where there's snow on the ground, but it's not actually snowing. When the game doesn't depict any snow at all.
Yeah, I've thought that myself when I've been in live weather, and it should have snow on the ground. You'd have thought that'd be relatively easy to implement, wouldn't you? Because you can adjust the snow on all the weather presets. So, yeah.
It's like you said a few days ago when you reviewed the Mako Manchester with the rain. It really is beautiful in the rain.
Yeah, it is.
I went out and bought it off your review and installed it that night.
Did you? And you're pleased with it?
Well, I like Manchester because we've all been there because we're from Lancashire. We spot there and Liverpool and Blackpool. It's very, very accurate.
Yeah, it is. It's good. And I haven't actually reviewed it. That video I did was a sort of quick preview, which the developer, wanted. And so it's just a quick look around, and it's really come on leaps and bounds since then.
What happens? Does it update itself?
No, you have to download it from the site again. So you go into your account page and you can just grab the latest version whenever you want.
Do you lift out the old one from your community folder and then pop the new one back in?
I would. I don't know if you have to, but I tend to do that. I think it's safer.
For safety reasons.
Yeah, just because I find things are less likely to go wrong if you don't have any old unnecessary files lying around. And Sukhoi's reasoning for thinking that they're Danish is because Atlantic Airways operate A320s there from Copenhagen. So that would make sense. What was I going to say? Oh yes, so Mako have also brought out Birmingham, and Sukhoi points out that he seems to have got it for free, which is nice. There was a beta version released to everyone who had bought Manchester over Christmas, but I think that's no longer available because they've actually released an early access version. And next Saturday I'm doing a giveaway, so if anyone's around next Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m, I'm going to be doing a flight from Vienna to the new Mako Simulations Birmingham Airport, and there's one copy to be won. So yeah, could be worth looking out for. Yeah, I have to say, when I first heard about this early access type thing that they were doing, I wasn't too sure. I sort of thought, well, why not just get it done and then sell it? But having seen the state Manchester was in, even when I did the preview video, let alone now, I can see the logic because it's pretty good.
So if I've if I've only installed it a couple of days ago, am I up to date?
Probably, yeah. I don't think anything's been released in the last couple of days. The only way of being certain is to either remember the version numbers or join their Discord server, and they have a channel there where they talk about what they're doing in the way of updates.
I've only just been introduced to Discord full stop.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until this sim came along. I still don't really know what I'm doing with it, but it's certainly useful.
Oh yes, you do, Phil, but you do very well.
Thanks. It's just when I'm trying to do roles and permissions, and when I started the memberships, I thought that Nightbot, which is a bot that's in the server and on the YouTube streams, would automatically give people the right role to access the right channel. Didn't happen, so I don't know what I've done, but it means I have to go through and do it manually.
Philbert, can I just ask a question about the airport? So, Birmingham scenery airport, will they add in a bit for the city as well, or is it just purely the airport?
Do you know, I'm not actually 100% sure on that. I think they've got a few buildings surrounding the airport, but I don't think they're doing much, if anything, to the city itself.
Okay, because Barcelona, your add-on for Barcelona scenery, the airport, there was a few changes to the city, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. That was a different developer.
Yeah, that was I can't remember.
Latin VFR.
Latin VFR, that's it.
I couldn't remember, and then you said L. I was like, oh yes, that's who it was.
Yeah, Mako didn't do anything to the city, but if you're interested in scenery for Birmingham City, I've downloaded a nice pack from flightsim.to. Just type in Birmingham.
Oh yeah, I use flightsim.to quite a bit because it's free. Well, the Gatwick one is just amazing. The latest version is really, really incredible, considering it's free.
Yes, it is.
Sukhoi says in relation to the early access thing that it does seem to be a bit of a way of covering their backs if people don't think it's up to scratch. I know what you mean. But given the price, I think it's allowed not to be up to scratch, even if it was a fully complete product, to be honest. You look at, and I'm loath to even bring this up, but you look at that Deimos Inc. Milan Malpensa I reviewed, which was 20 odd euros. No comparison.
It is horrible.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so frustrated that I bought it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been happy with all the ones from Orbex. Been happy with all the add-ons that, thanks to Phil, with your reviews, so I've followed from that. But the flight sim got, considering it's free. I've got Gatwick. I might have another one. I can't remember now. But I have spent quite a bit of time on it. What's that, sorry?
There's a good Oslo on there, 3 euros.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not bad, the Oslo. Getting better. It's seal fact time. I've got to interrupt. I've got to tell you about seals. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So this island below us, which I'm also going to butcher the pronunciation of, but I think it's Island Nanron, which means Island of the Seals. It was populated for many years, but has been uninhabited since 1938. And seals come here in their hundreds every autumn to pup. An estimated 350 seal pups are born here annually. And it's also home to sheep, which were just left there when the island was evacuated. Now tell me, was that fact worth the wait, or was it worth the wait?
Worth the wait.
I just feel sorry for the sheep being neglected. The island. Who looks after the sheep?
Well, if they've been there for nearly 100 years, they must be doing all right, mustn't they?
There's probably a team of sheep sharers.
Yeah.
EA.
Sukhoi says I should make a jingle to play every time I have a fact. And to be honest,
Sorry
I think...
about that.
What was that?
I couldn't resist that.
No worries. And I think that might be the final straw, to be honest with you.
No more.
It'll be your bimble jingle.
Yeah.
One of my colleagues from many, many years ago at the hospital brought back a postcard from Greece, Athens, and it was 2 gentlemen holding a sheep. He said, "Are you shearing?" He said, "No, get your own." And it stayed with us forever. It's so funny because the way it was like balloons on their mouths. I know it said, "Are you shearing?" He said, "Get your own." It's very naughty, but it's a man's joke, isn't it? What's happening at the nest leg here? It seems to double back on itself a little bit.
Where? Over the museum?
Sorry, it's me being silly. My compass rose is magenta. It looked like it went backwards.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the corner of the compass. It's at the Ready Golf Course.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or Re
yeah.
Golf Course.
Yeah, as in Dune Ray.
Oh, is that the one? Yeah, right.
That golf course that you're over is the most northerly, as you probably would expect, the most northerly 18-hole links course in Britain.
So does that assume that the Hebrides won't, the Orkneys won't have one?
No, I should have said mainland Britain.
Sorry about that.
No, it's it's well worth checking. I don't know. There may be one on one of the islands.
Is this the Doomray airstrip or something in front of us?
I don't know.
Or is it water? It's a strange shape.
You're ahead of us again.
I know, but every time I slow down, I start to stall. I mean, I'm down to 970 feet at the moment, trying to slow down. I think I've got a turbocharged SR22 here. I'm on a quarter throttle and I'm running at 115 knots.
You see, next time you'll have to slum it with the rest of us in 152s.
Do you know, I haven't flown the 152 for years. I like the 172, but when it started off a few months ago, if you remember, it had all the autopilot problems.
Yeah.
So I gave it a wide berth for it. Literally, I haven't gone back to it yet because of that. So yeah, I probably will do that.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I chose the 152 for this trip is because it's the only plane I've flown in real life, and I thought it might be quite fun to see what it was like to fly it all the way around the country. But I'm enjoying it. I haven't craved anything sportier so far.
Not quite as rattly in vibration, though, is it?
No, that's true.
Certainly flat up here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a contrast to where we were half an hour ago, isn't it?
When you go down from here south around the Aberdeen and Dundee, it's incredibly rich, and the growing grounds of the soft fruits, etc. It's different, but it's very beautiful.
Oh, good. That's encouraging. Yeah, so I think next time we'll go to Inverness, possibly slightly further. I'll map it out and see how long we're looking at. And then, yes, Aberdeen down to Dundee.
There's an area just north, what I would call just north of Edinburgh, which the chap who's from there would know. Quite hilly, a bit like Yorkshire. It's beautiful colours, the greens and the valleys. It really is lovely.
You're talking about Fife?
In that area, yeah. I'm trying to think of it, because when you're flying over somewhere you don't really know, you don't always pick up the word, the names. Is it a B? My partner knew instinctively what it was because I mentioned it to her at the time.
Trying to think.
If you just literally fly over the Forth, the Firth or Forth, whatever it is up there, and then go west along that area, as if you're going towards, say, Glasgow Airport from Edinburgh, and that's where I found them.
The hills there around Tillycoultry and kind of just east of Stirling.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, and I know what they're called, and I can't remember.
So annoying, isn't it? My partner took me on a 3-week tour of Scotland last year in the motorhome, because I've often read the odd disparaging comment, and she said, right, that's it. She planned it, I navigated it to force me into seeing quite a lot of Scotland, and it's just beautiful. I had to eat my my hat so many times, it was unbelievable. We even saw the dolphins near Fort Augusta, was it? I think it is.
Augustus, yeah.
Fort Augustus, yeah, went up there, watched the dolphins.
In Inverness.
Literally. Yeah, up in Inverness. Stunning, absolutely stunning.
Okay, the hills that I was talking about are called the Ochil Hills.
Okay, yeah.
Could be those. They're certainly very impressive at sunset. They've got their texture is very bumpy, kind of smooth bumps, and
that's it. It catches the light, doesn't it?
Catches the light, yeah. It's the Ochils.
That's why I love this flight sim, because when you're alone or you're at home when you're retired, you just think, right, where shall I go? It's cold, so I'll go somewhere warm. A few nights ago, I went up to Miami, over Fort Lauderdale, get it right, and all around there just to feel a bit warmer.
Yeah. Sorry, Ochils, is it spelled as you would expect?
It's OCHIL.
No. Okay.
Really?
Ochils, right, I've got you. I'll make a note and see if we can fly over them. David wants to know if we've been over Kinloss yet. No, we haven't, but we will be heading that way, possibly on the next one, possibly the one after. So basically we're doing a clockwise route around the UK, David. So yeah, we haven't seen anything on the east coast yet.
So we're doing the Northwest 500.
Yeah.
We're on the Northwest 250 at the moment.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I won't be bothering going if this is what it looks like. It's barren, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's quite desolate.
But you have to do this bit to get to John O'Groats, you see.
Ah, that's how you have to do it. Right.
So you can say you've been to the most northerly part of the mainland Britain. Or most northeasterly, I suppose. Because as you said earlier, Phil, that Cape Wrath is the northernmost point.
Is it? I thought there was another part that was most northerly.
But was it Dunnet Head? Is that it?
Yeah, it's Dunnet Head.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it is. It's Dunnet Head.
Dunnet Head, yeah, which we're coming to in a minute.
Yeah. And it's Wrath, not Roth, isn't it? I've been saying it wrong. I think I was.
Yeah, it's Wrath. Yeah. If anyone likes gin, there's a very good gin distillery in just near Dunnet Head.
Oh, right.
Called Dunnet Bay Distillers, and they do Rock Rose gin. If anyone's ever seen that.
No, I don't think I have come across it.
That seems like blasphemy in the world of the whiskey.
There seems to be a lot of gin distilleries popping up all over the place.
Yeah, it's very trendy now, isn't it, gin?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's books on it. Still the widow's ruin, though, isn't it?
Is here an airport?
Where?
On
Below us?
DO.
Oh yes. Must be a disused one, I think.
I think it's part of the Dounreay nuclear base. That's
okay.
That's the Dounreay nuclear power plant down there.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's an active airfield.
The runway that would be running sort of parallel to us is no longer a runway. It's showing up as parking on little nav map.
Right.
And that's all getting decommissioned. It's all getting taken down and buried or whatever they do to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuclear power plants being decommissioned at the moment, aren't there? I think. Sizewell A, or one of the two Sizewells.
And here we have the windmills.
Yep.
Yeah.
Much better.
Max wants to know why many of the 787 liveries are taken down. I don't know. Do any of you? No, don't think anyone knows, Max. Sorry. David says one of the byproducts of gin distilling is the main ingredient of hand sanitizer. Didn't know that. Mossy, welcome. Mossy's sorry that he couldn't make it today. He's just got back from work. Don't worry at all. We've missed you, but yeah, glad you've been working. That's good news.
Filbert, now that I've got the little nav map up, can you explain to me briefly how to get the other flyers on board?
I don't think you can. I haven't got anyone else showing up on here.
Nothing on the maps?
No.
Not on multiplayer, no. On VATSIM and generic traffic, you can see some stuff, but not.
Yeah, you can if you click them on. If you're on VATSIM, yeah, it's registered, isn't it?
So this is Thursday we're coming up to now, which was formerly an important Norse port, which I found surprising, and later traded with ports throughout Northern Europe until the 19th century. It's home to a Category A listed ruined church, St. Peter's Kirk, which dates to at least 1125. And it used to be used also to hold hearings against criminal activity. It's Thursday.
Bet they were busy.
Yeah. Yeah, Mossy, I knew you'd got a job at Halfords, but I knew your start date was delayed, so I wasn't sure when exactly you'd be starting. How are you finding it? I mean, feel free to come and join us in the Discord chat if you want as well, even if you don't fly with us. The other difficulty with talking on here and on YouTube chat is that there's about a 30-second lag between what's happening now and when it goes onto YouTube. Thursday looks fairly uninspiring in the sim, but I'm sure it's lovely in real life.
Very residential.
Pardon?
I said it's very residential.
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah. Not much else.
That's why they share the sheep. They use the wool to keep warm, you see.
Yes.
Once they've sheared it.
I can see runway lights. Is that where we're landing?
We're fair way off still. Yeah, it probably is. So over to like my 2 o'clock, something like that. That's where Wick Airport is. Yeah.
Cool, but do we have a protocol for landing?
No, just whack it down. I normally like to go first, so I can.
Close your eyes and hope.
You know, it's the most disorganized thing.
Sorry.
One of the most disorganized things ever.
Yeah. I mean, last time I totally messed up my landing because I didn't see the airport till too late. But what I normally like to do is land first, and then I can watch the rest of you come in, and it makes for interesting viewing on YouTube. But it's very casual overall.
Can you get a move on then?
I can't. I'm in a 152. This is about as quick as it'll go.
I'm flying west at the moment to catch you up. That's
You're gonna have to circle for hours.
I'm flying from the future to the past.
So this
Can you
on
do that from the future?
this on our left is Dunnet Head, which is the northernmost point of the mainland. So that's what we're looking at the moment.
You see, there's a flight from, I think, Los Angeles to Japan, or the other way around, and they take off in the future and return to the past, I think.
Oh yes, that must be possible because of the international date line. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's somewhere around New Year's. I think it's New Year's Eve.
Right.
Fly backwards.
Here is a boat on the sea for you too.
Oh.
Why don't we do that next year, Philbert?
Can't see it. Do what? Sorry.
We could
Yeah,
emulate. Philbert, we could
Cessna.
emulate that next year.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, sounds like quite a good plan.
At the point where I'm flying right now.
What, in the past or in the future?
Oh, you're down there. No, I don't have a boat down there. No, nothing there. What he said is the job's good, but it's crazy how many people try to come in without a mask. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm very glad that I don't have to work in a shop at the moment.
We'll try talking to the nurses and doctors.
Yeah, yeah.
They're risking their lives, and some of them are going down with it, and people are dying, and that they still think that it's not real.
I know. It's infuriating. No more so than for them.
It must be quite sickening to come off duty in the morning from a night shift and see those idiots about.
It must. So we're coming up to the Castle and Gardens of May. Someone's going to tell me that even that's not pronounced as it's written, I imagine.
That's right.
Oh, good. Which obviously doesn't look like a castle in the sim, but I'll tell you a bit about it anyway. It was built between 1566 and 1572 by George Sinclair, the 4th Earl of Caithness, and was used as an officer's rest home during World War II. Fell into a semi-derelict state and then was snapped up by the Queen Mother, who restored it for use as a holiday home. And as part of that, she got an electricity and water supply fitted, which was the first time it had ever been served with either of those. Visited it in August and October from 1955, all the way through until her death in March 2002. And in 1996 she gave it over to the Queen Elizabeth Castle of May Trust, which opens the castle to the public 7 days a week from May until September every year. So if you're ever up here, you can go and visit the Queen Mother's old holiday home. Now let's see what it looks like in the sim. An office block or a shopping mall? What do you reckon?
I can see a castle.
Office block.
Yeah.
You say you could see it?
That's better than expected.
Is it just in the trees? Just at the edge of the
Oh
trees
yes!
there? You can see the ornamental gardens.
Yes, the gardens were what I thought might be worth a look, but the castle looks better than I expected. Well, I never. There you are.
Yeah, it looks like a castle.
It does.
It's got a castellated top.
It has. Well, I'm glad you're not letting them in, Moss, even if they do get angry.
They'll all be waving their A4 paper,
Yeah, don't.
fresh off the internet.
Yeah. I think the only saving grace is that a lot of them probably don't have the brains to think of that. Anyway, tend to try and keep things COVID free on this channel. I've slipped lately.
Yeah,
but
sorry
let's get
about
back
that.
to it. No, it's all right. It's not just you. I do it myself. Keffel says this reminds him of Forza Horizon 4.
The DPE 1974s.
What's that, sorry?
Oh yeah, that is set in Scotland. It's set in Scotland, Forza Horizon.
Oh, is it? Oh, there we are.
I'm just watching some of our other pilots coming around and underneath port starboard flashing. You can so easily take this for granted, couldn't you?
Yeah, I know.
Really is unbelievable.
Yeah. That's all right, Mussy. I forgive you because I'm looking forward to the VR headset you're going to buy me for my birthday, and there's more and more reasons for you to do it now. So we're coming up to John O'Groats now, which is basically a tourist pot, I would say, because it's at the end of the one of the longest distance between two inhabited points route. The other end being Land's End in Cornwall, of course, which I totally skipped from Bimbles around Britain. I don't remember why now, but I decided we wouldn't bother with the West Country, which is a bit of a shame. In 2005, the Lonely Planet Guide described it as a seedy tourist trap, and in 2010 it received a Carbuncle Award from Urban Realm magazine for being Scotland's most dismal town. So that's John O'Groats for you.
Is that the town or the inhabitants?
It wasn't specified, I don't think.
One follows the other.
yeah. And we're coming up to Duncansby Head now, which is the most northeasterly point of the British mainland, and has a lighthouse on it, which was built in 1924. And I was going to say, I'm sure it won't look like a lighthouse in the sim, but after that castle, who knows? Probably the people who are already over there.
No lighthouse so far. I don't think so.
No, maybe there's just nothing. No, this isn't live weather. The live weather was atrocious, so I'm in few clouds with a little bit of snow on the ground, as recommended by Flyboy D.
Are you all getting that, what's the word, silt water-like sea?
Yeah. Little waves lapping up. It's very nicely done. I think this building here is supposed to be the lighthouse. Funnily enough, it looks more like a church, which is something we don't usually see. Good. Anyway, I'll turn around because otherwise we'll end up. I don't know where. Possibly Norway. Yeah, Norway. So we're on the home stretch now. No more fascinating facts until we get to the airport, and even then, they're few and far between. So we're flying to Nibster, and then Rice, and that will set us up for a landing on runway 12, maybe 13. Runway 13.
We did a air traffic controller now amongst us to send us all down.
Yes. I see you're all miles ahead of me because no one was as interested as I was in Duncansby Head. So do feel free to land. You don't have to wait for me.
I came back to join you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm at the back now.
Are you? Oh yes, there you are.
Yeah, I'm right behind everybody just to be nice. Well, some are trying. Oh no, sorry, no. Captain Tyke. Now he set off with me. He's loitering behind me. Mind you, these SRs are quite powerful for the size, aren't they?
Yeah. Certainly.
Loitering with intent.
Certainly compared with what most other people are flying, I think.
They're
Oh,
a
look
great
at that!
plane
You've
to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I have flown it a bit. You've guilt-tripped people. There's a few people turning back to slip in behind now. Good work, I'm impressed. David says Rex Weather 2020 would not be fun where we are at the moment. No, I'm sure.
I've been in and out of City London a few times, and the protocol there is landing, take off, coming at you from the wrong end on the runways. It's just unbelievably chaotic.
Yeah.
It's like a youth club.
I don't tend to fly with multiplayer on most of the time for that reason. But yeah, whenever I do, it's
So
quite
it's
the
you that
experience.
keeps landing on top of me.
No. I only fly into city on VATSIM, and I find it all quite stressful. I did a live stream in the CJ4 from Saint-Tropez to London City, and it went all right. But it's a tricky approach, especially in a plane you're not that familiar with.
Yeah, it's like a 5.5 degree approach angle, I think, and
Yeah.
only a few airplanes are certified for that. So I tried it with the A320, and it was I had to abort the first approach.
Right. Do you get it down in the end?
Yeah, I did. It was a tricky one with a short runway.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree actually, because I tried a couple of times. Runway 9, the ILS doesn't work properly, I find. It's all right coming in runway 27, but runway 9 it's tricky because of all the buildings. So don't know how they manage it in the real world.
There's some good
I think
videos out there.
sorry, most pilots bring them in by hand, don't they?
Yeah. There aren't many aircraft, I think, that are certified to fly a 5.5 degree glide slate on autopilot.
It's quite steep, right?
Sorry?
5.5 is quite steep.
Yeah, it is.
Almost double the normal approach angle.
Yeah.
Phil, but which runway are we using?
Whatever I said before, 1-3.
Okay, 1-3.
So the final waypoint, Reese or Rice, is basically there to set you up for a straight-in approach. It's quite a big airport, Wick, yet for some reason I haven't spotted it yet. It's probably the sun.
I was a bit naughty and nervous earlier this morning, so I flew in a couple of times on bumps just to try it. It's a bit dodgy from the sea end. It's quite flat, straight at it. It's not easy.
Mm. David asks when do you fly online and can people join you? Yeah, David, so this group flight happens every 2 weeks on a Saturday at 1400 Zulu, except when I have to work on a Saturday, and then we leave it for 3 weeks. And there's a link in the video description to my Discord server. I post all of the flight plans up there. So yeah, everyone's welcome.
And I can thoroughly recommend it.
Oh, thank
Absolutely.
you. Good.
Until I crash, and then I'll hate you.
Oh, I see the airport now. That's good. It's the start of every great approach, is spotting where the airport is, of course.
Quite hazy with the sun.
Yeah.
I did this several times in real time, and hey, I never found these damned airports.
I mean, grass strips, I'm hopeless at. I never ever spot them. except for that one that we were at a few weeks ago on the Isle of Mull. I've forgotten what it's called, Glenforza, and I only spotted that because it's very clear from the sea and right next to the beach.
It shines off the water, doesn't it? You can just make it out.
Yeah.
Quite well groomed, that one. It had a nice sort of strip. It was defined, wasn't it, the Isle of Mull?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Like a cricket pitch.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably because we had the add-on. If you had the scenery add-on, maybe it's more defined on that.
Yeah, probably. I never looked at it before installing the add-on. Might not have even been there, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's not a licensed airfield.
I'm going to do a nice circuit before I come in.
Okie dokie.
Purely on the grounds I've overshot it.
I did
But we
wonder,
won't
but
tell anybody.
I didn't like to cast aspersions.
I think you're just getting back at me for the sheep.
So up until March this year, there were commercial flights from this airport to Edinburgh and I think Aberdeen, but they're all finished now. Still used by helicopters though for offshore stuff, and also by light aircraft on transatlantic hops, which I read, and it reminded me of your idea, Flyboy D, of doing some kind of transatlantic ferry flight. I'm still quite up for that at some point.
Yeah, I want to do one as well, but I'm not too sure how that would work on Vatson.
No, I'm not. I think they're probably... Yeah, I think you would. There's sometimes high-level coverage with Gander and Shanwick Oceanic, but yeah, I don't think there'd be much lower down.
Looks like a school down there, just to the south of the runway.
You have a look on the little nav map. It tells you. Little nav map tells you when there's schools and stuff.
Well, this is not the most beautiful approach, I must say. But the landing wasn't too bad.
Are you down?
I am down. And I'm going to taxi all the way to the end of the runway and then exit.
I never overtook a plane on a runway.
I've totally forgotten where I was going to exit. Good, thank you. I see. I see you now. Yeah, follow Morton Ulysses. He seems to know where he's going.
Just following Quabnot.
Right, follow Quabnot and Morton Ulysses. Right, I'm going to park up here on the grass and just have a look at everyone else coming in. I'll catch the rest of you up. The grass looks lovely with the frost and snow, actually, doesn't it? Captain Tyke is in, Kid's in.
Yeehaw.
Astromidus. This drone does not fly fast enough to catch your touchdowns. Going for peanuts.
Looks great.
Good. Cat UK, SEA. Or Katuxi, I'm never sure.
Jefferson
Filbert, how
Aero's
come your
coming in.
plane looks like it's hovering 3 foot above the ground?
My plane does.
Yeah, then on my sim, everybody else is on the ground. You're hovering
Oh, yeah.
about 3 foot above it.
I
Yeah,
have
I was
no
going to say that
idea.
earlier as well. You're hovering on mine as well.
Ah. Usually that seems to happen when someone has an add-on installed that the others don't. But I haven't. I'm just using the default 152, so I have no idea. DPE, welcome.
Is responsive on a final or hovering?
Who?
Responsive.
Responsive?
Responsive drip 9.
I don't see him.
See that one?
I'm wondering if I'm waiting for him or not.
Oh no, he's nothing to do with us, I don't think. I think he's quite a long way away. I've been caught
Okay.
that way before. You seem to see people for hundreds of miles on multiplayer. No, everything looks good. JP's is in front of you, I think, and that's it. I don't do... I'll just watch JP, concentrate on one thing at a time. Textbook JP, as always, very nice. I don't do much flying myself in the evenings, David, but there are lots of groups that do. A good place to look is the FS official forums. There's a lot of stuff about group flying on there.
I think I'm bringing in the last one now, aren't I?
You are. And I'm here to capture it live.
It's fine.
No pressure.
I want a photograph.
No pressure, we're all watching you.
Very nice, very smooth from what I could see. Right. Oh, we're all parked
down.
up on the grassroots. Okay, we'll just stay here.
Phew.
Very
that would
nice.
have been embarrassing. Where are you all? Forward of me.
Yeah, forward of you, just scattered over the grass just towards the end of the runway on the right.
Yeah, thanks, Philbert. Another great flight as always.
Oh, no problem at all. I enjoyed it, and thank you for coming.
Pleasure.
I've certainly enjoyed it.
Good, good. Seamless Guttering Company has just joined, a bit late to the club. Well, there's always next time, and nice to have you here, albeit briefly. Thank you, Suko. I'm glad you enjoyed this stream. So my next live stream is going to be tomorrow at 2 PM when Kevin and I are going to be demonstrating, hopefully successfully, shared cockpit flying with your controls. So if you want to watch, then do that. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel. And after that, the next Bimbles Around Britain, if you're more interested in the VFR stuff, is going to be 2 weeks today at the same time. Good. I think we'll call it a day there. So I'll switch off the YouTube stream. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon on Philbert Flies. Bye bye.